Hi everybody, you are now watching China Xinhua News on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. I'm Zhang Yucheng with Xinhua News Agency. This is the China's National Railway Center, where an exhibition on China's railway innovation technology are on display here. And so we'd like to see a lot of train model here and a lot of cutting edge train technologies here. So let's get started. In the past decade, China has seen major development in high-speed railways, and also we have seen a lot of development in terms of cutting-edge high-speed railway equipment. So China actually nowadays has the world's longest high-speed railway in the world. That is accounting for 60% of the world's total, and that is accounting for 60% of the world's total. And we have Chinese bullet trains, have 30% of them have a design speed of 350 kilometers per hour. As you can see, these bullet trains, inspection vehicles, and high horsepower locomotives are all developed by Chinese engineers. Now, on this open ground, probably the most eye-catching exhibit is China's new super long Fuxing high-speed train. The Fuxing trains are entirely designed and manufactured in China. The trains are more spacious and energy efficient. They have a longer service life and a better reliability than previous models. The Fuxing bullet train here has 17 carriages. It has a design speed of 350 kilometers per hour. It is about 440 meters long and can carry up to 1,283 passengers. That is 7.5% increase compared with 17 carriage predecessor. As you may have known, previously, the longest high-speed trains in China had 17 carriages. Those are already the extended versions on the basis of the previous 8 carriage trains. The 17 carriage train is even longer. If I stand at the head of the train, I may not be able to see the end of it. It's nearly 440 meters long. Despite its length, it could perfectly fit with the existing facilities of high-speed railway stations in various parts of China. And according to the railway officials, in about 2 weeks' time, China will use a new railway operation schedule, and by then, this longer Fuxing train will be put into operation on a high-speed line between Beijing and Shanghai, which is one of China's busiest high-speed railway lines. As a matter of fact, at around the end of this year, 10 new railway lines with an aggregate operating length of 2,500 kilometers will be put into service to enhance the capability of China's high-speed rails. About 553 new high-speed train services will be introduced simultaneously, which is expected to elevate China's high-speed rail transport capacity by 9%, according to sources from the China Railway. The change will also make high-speed railway services available for the first time in a dozen cities, including Fuxing and Chaoyang in Liaoning Province, Chengde in Hebei, Tongliao in Inner Mongolia, Mudanjiang in Heilongjiang, Rizhao in Shandong, Lianyungang and Yangcheng in Jiangsu Province, Ya'an in Sichuan Province, and Lijiang in Yunnan Province. The travel time between some cities are also expected to be shortened. For instance, it will take 3 hours less for passengers to travel from Harbin to Mudanjiang and nearly 7 hours less from Mudanjiang to Beijing. The new train diagram will be put to use on January 5th, 2019. China now already has the world's longest high-speed railway network. The length of China's high-speed rail in operation reached 25,000 kilometers at the end of last year, accounting for more than 60% of the world's total. This year, the network is being further expanded. For example, after Hong Kong is connected to the Chinese mainland high-speed railway network, a day-long train trip between Beijing and Hong Kong has been reduced to around 9 hours. And as we have just said, the Fuxing trains are a substantial upgrade on the previous bullet trains, known as Hexue or Harmony. The Fuxing trains are entirely designed and manufactured in China. They are more spacious and energy efficient. When Fuxing bullet trains started operation between Beijing and Shanghai in September last year, the maximum speed of China's bullet trains rose to 350 kilometers per hour. Previously, China's high-speed trains have been running at a maximum speed of 300 km per hour for years. The speed increase also cut Beijing-Shanghai journey to around 4.5 hours. The Beijing-Shanghai high-speed railway connects the China's capital with the country's major financial and trade hub. It's one of the busiest high-speed railways in China, carrying more than 100 million passengers a year. Railway traffic is very popular across China. The country has 127,000 kilometers of operating railway tracks by the end of last year. And authorities say China's railway network will hit 175,000 kilometers in length by 2025. In 2017, a total of 3 billion passenger trips were made on railways, up 9.6% year-on-year. More than 46% of those trips were made on high-speed railways. With more routes open to traffic, railway authorities have said that China high-speed rail tracks will hit 38,000 kilometers by 2025. Now here's more background information about China's high-speed trains. China's first high-speed railway line, linking Beijing with its neighboring port city of Tianjin, was launched on August 1, 2008. More than 10 years ago, just days before the Beijing Olympic Games opened, the first batches of passengers, including many who came to watch the Beijing Olympic that year. The daily frequency of Beijing-Tianjin intercity trains has increased from 94 one-way services to more than 200, with 250 million passengers carried in the first decade. That is to say, in a matter of 10 years, the length of high-speed railway lines in China increased from 0 to at least 25,000 kilometers. China is building a network of 8 east-west high-speed railway lines and 8 north-south lines. By 2020, China's high-speed rail length is expected to reach 30,000 kilometers, covering 80% of major cities. And here today we have the extended Fuxing high-speed train. The train has 17 carriages, about 440 meters long. The Fuxing trains are more comfortable to ride in. They have free Wi-Fi and more power outlets, USB ports, and legroom. And China has paid scrupulous attention to safety in developing its high-speed railway. The Fuxing train contains thousands of sensors, much more than previous models, to simultaneously collect real-time indicators from all carriages. Alarms are activated if an abnormality occurs in the cooling, braking, or air conditioning systems. If necessary, the train will slow or stop on its own. To avoid damage to carriages and fatalities, new trains are armed with more advanced shock and crash energy absorption equipment. The Fuxing can serve for 30 years, 10 years more than the previous model, and consumes 10% less power when running at 350 km per hour. For over a decade, China has learned from developed countries to build a world-class high-speed railway system. Now it holds the complete intellectual property rights for Fuxing, which is designed and manufactured without help from the West. The Fuxing trains are able to run in extreme temperatures of -40 degrees Celsius, and 40 degrees Celsius can be adapted to various geological and operational situations, according to a chief engineer of China Railway Corporation. Fuxing will be China's main high-speed rail export in the future, and made-in-China trains have already made their way to countries like Indonesia, Russia, Iran, and India. Railway traffic is very popular across China. The country had 127,000 kilometers of operating railway tracks by the end of last year. And authorities say China's railway network will hit 175,000 kilograms by the end of the year 2025. In 2017, a total of 3 billion passenger trips were made on railways, up 9.6% year-on-year. More than 56% of those trips were made on high-speed railways. With more routes open to traffic, railway authorities have said that China's high-speed rail tracks will hit 38,000 kilometers by 2025. China's first high-speed railway line, linking Beijing with its neighboring port city of Tianjin, was launched on August 1, 2008. More than 10 years ago, just days before the Beijing Olympic Games opened, the first batches of passengers included many who came to watch the Beijing Olympics that year. The daily frequency of Beijing-Tianjin intercity trains has increased from 19 full one-way services to more than 200, with 250 million passengers carried in the first decade. That is to say, in a matter of 10 years, the length of high-speed railway lines in China increased from 0 to at least 25,000 kilometers. China is building a network of 8 east-west high-speed railway lines and 8 north-south lines. By 2020, China high-speed rail length is expected to reach 30,000 kilometers, covering 80% of major cities. And here today, this is the extended Fuxing high-speed train. This train has 17 carriages, about 440 meters long. To avoid damage to carriages and fatalities, these trains are armed with more advanced shock and crash energy absorption equipment. The Fuxing can serve for 30 years, 10 years more than the previous model, and consumes 10% less power when running at 350 km per hour. For over a decade, China has learned from the developed country to build a world-class high-speed railway system. Now it holds the complete intellectual property rights for Fuxing, which is designed and manufactured without help from the West. The Fuxing trains are able to run in extreme temperatures of minus 40 degrees Celsius, and 40 degrees Celsius can be adapted to various geological and operational system situations. According to a chief engineer of China Railway Corp, Fuxing will be China's main high-speed rail export in the future, and made-in-China trains have already made their way to countries like Indonesia, Russia, Iran, and India. Hi, this is China Xinhua News on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. This is the China's National Railway Test Center in Beijing, where exhibition on railway technological innovation achievements is held here today. Today, we'd like to bring you to see new high-speed trains and a lot of cutting-edge railway equipment here. Now we'll come to another major model exhibit here. The streamlined bullet train has a design speed of 160 km per hour. This train has both short and longer models. The shortest model has 9 carriages, and the longer one have 11 to 20 carriages. The trains can accommodate 1,102 passengers at most. This kind of trains can be widely used on electrified railways across China. Compared with traditional traction trains, this kind of trains are easier for the drivers to operate, and the passenger would find it more comfortable to sit in there. Transport organizations could be more efficient too. After January 5th next year, this kind of trains will be put into service gradually. And here is a bullet train capable of up to 250 km per hour. And as part of the exhibition, we'll be invited to have a ride on this train today. As a matter of fact, at around the end of the year, 10 new railways with an aggregate operating length of 2,500 kilometers will be put into services to enhance the capability of China's high-speed rails. About 553 new high-speed train services will be introduced simultaneously, which is expected to elevate China's high-speed rail transport capacity by 9%, according to sources from the China Railway. The change will also make high-speed railway services available for the first time in a dozen cities. The travel times between some cities are also expected to be shortened. For instance, it will take 3 hours less for passengers to travel from Harbin to Mudanjiang, and nearly 7 hours less than from Mudanjiang to Beijing. China now already has the world's longest high-speed railway network. The length of China's high-speed rail in operation reached 25,000 kilometers at the end of last year, accounting for more than 60% of the world's total. This year, the network is being further expanded. For example, after Hong Kong is connected to the Chinese mainland high-speed rail network, a day-long trip between Beijing and Hong Kong has been reduced to around 9 hours. Now it's the time to wrap up today's video. If you liked this video, do share it with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you all.